Go. How are you? What's going on?
I'm good. I'm good. Not much. Just got back from Bali. Just
Mhm.
settling in. I keep saying that, but we're in March. I got back late Jan. But I feel like it's such a transformative experience that it does take a while to reground, regroup back into Australia. How are you?
I'm going through the shifts of life and business and growth and everything else. So I'm just had a bit of a going through some challenges, but also embracing the opportunities and taking the time to slow down. So it's really hit me at the moment.
Mm,
My life is navigating as we all do, as we're on this
mm,
path, just taking the
mhm.
time to slow down. So
Yeah.
you went to Bali.
Hmm.
And this is episode 16, I believe, of the podcast. And I'm joined by my good friend of mine, Laurie. Um, hey.
Hey.
What, hey, how you doing? What inspired you to go to Bali? Like, what inspired you to go to Bali? Just out of curiosity.
It actually happened during our very first lockdown of COVID. So what was that, like 2020?
Hmm.
I just got this really big calling that I needed to be in Bali. There was something there for me. Um, and then, like, the next thing I knew, this yoga opportunity presented itself to me. So it literally came up on my For You page on every avenue. And I just went, that is so weird because I was just thinking about it. And that always happens. But obviously we were in lockdown, so I never really like touched base on that. And then through every almost manifestation or journaling or goal setting that I did, I kept writing Bali. Like, I'll be in Bali by this time. And then before you knew it, I again got offered this opportunity to go study yoga, the philosophy of yoga,
Hmm.
in Bali over Christmas and New Year's. So I completely just went, you know what? Let's just do it. And on one random Tuesday, I booked everything in. And by December, so that was like what, end of October, by December, I was in Bali. So I did 200-hour training plus yoga philosophy study. I was pretty much 3 weeks in a shala, just day and night from 5:30 a.m. till 7 p.m., completely devoted to this beautiful offering. And it was unlike anything that I had ever done before. So it was definitely transformative. It was challenging, um, to be in a space where you're kind of confined and set to a complete schedule that is unlike my own, and in a routine that off like is quite literally a devotion to a practice to a certain god, a certain scripture. And I haven't come from a big religious background, so to be in this space and to learn about a religion was quite eye-opening for me. um so yeah, I guess that, like, yeah, that answers both questions, I guess.
Yeah, cool. And what are the you said challenges. Now,
Mm.
I know we're human beings, we go through different challenges in life. So what is something that you find has been, I guess, the culmination, we call it a journey, like it's like a never-ending journey of life and being human. So what's one of the biggest challenges you've had to navigate, like when you first started this spiritual path?
As in Bali or just in general?
Just in general.
I think for me personally was always coming back to myself and always finding the authenticity in this. I think the spiritual world at the moment, um, as we're seeing, it's vastly growing and there's a lot of say in it. And which is beautiful. I think everyone has a complete expression of their own individuality within spirituality. But then I think with that, there is quite a lot of teachings to others, and it's what you take from that, but still also remaining true to yourself. So I think the challenge to that has always been wanting to grasp onto a certain type of teaching and then adoring it, but then also trying not to, I guess, mold myself into now this new idea of what I believe spirituality to be. And then, okay, oh, now there's a new one. Let's go jump to that
Yeah.
ship. And, picking the pieces that are still relative to who I am as a person and what I'm loyal to and what speaks to me personally, and then being authentic to that has been probably my biggest challenge throughout this whole experience, and just making sure I'm honoring myself through the process.
That's funny because we like we're all spiritual at the end of the day. Like
Yeah,
like everyone's, whether you've tapped into, whether you've found it, whether you've gone on your journey, like whatever it is for you, it's
yeah,
like perfect in the way it is. It's just you've got to go through certain challenges, certain things in your life to actually get to that point.
yeah,
And I do agree with you in like you've got to actually discern what's real to you and what's not real to you. Because I know for me,
yeah,
I get caught up in everyone else's stuff, but then also come
yeah,
back to myself and like what I truly value and what I truly appreciate about me
mm,
and who I get to connect with. And
yeah,
it's interesting. It's just it's a whole different perception when you look into different teachings and different things people are doing.
yeah,
How did you
yeah,
what because I know we always say it's like you get hit by the feather, the brick, and the bus. Um,
yeah.
what was what was that defining moment? Like what was the defining moment for you to actually come on this spiritual path?
Do you know what? I've been asked this so many times in my life, and I can never actually answer. I feel like my love for this world has always been there. Even as a child, I've always had like almost one finger in the pie. Um, and then I kind of just drift away, and I move away from it, and I do my own thing for a little while, and then somehow I always come back to practice.
Mhm.
So I don't think I've ever fully had like a light bulb, like, oh, this is it moment. Um, but I believe that there has been so many moments throughout my journey that have made me appreciate my passion for this path, if that makes any sense. So it's like there's not so much as the light bulb, but there are so many like aha moments where you go, oh, this is why I love this, like what I do and what I believe in.
Yeah, very true. It's funny. I was just
Yeah,
you hear journey, and it's like you can discern whether you like believe that, because I know there's listeners that potentially don't understand the spirituality side of it, which is completely fine. Also, there's also listeners that potentially will really relate to it. So it's good that you don't have a defining moment.
yeah,
A lot of this community, spiritual conscious community, always talks
mm,
about like different moments they've had. But at the end of the day, we have choices in each moment to either progress further or step back.
yeah.
And it's always leads up to where you are right now. Like at the end of the day, like we're exactly where we need to be at the perfect time.
That's it. And I think not trivializing what you go through in life, or demonizing it, or trying to change the trajectory of it, or your perception of it. I think understanding each moment, whether the good or bad, and accepting it for what it is, and then letting it come with you, rather than, there's some bad things that we go through. And sometimes we want to bury it, leave it in the past, but like accepting all moments and letting that walk with you, I feel like that allows you to have almost each moment in perfect timing, rather than just those big aha moments. And I think that's why I never really have like a pivotal moment in my life, because almost every moment is pivotal.
Yeah, that's one thing I find I struggle with. Like I know I struggle sometimes with like actually accepting it. And it's like
Yeah.
I don't want to accept it because I know there's more for me out there. And it's like I've just got to actually trust. And that recently I've come to the realization that I've been not accepting. I'm trying to control things that are out of my
Mm,
control. And it's always
yeah.
I keep going back to it. It's like this never ending push and pull. And it's like honoring that and just ensuring that I accept it for what it is. And I'm not where I want to be in life, but that doesn't mean I can't enjoy where I'm at. Whereas I've got to
That's it.
remember that I get people around me just enjoy where you're at. I'm like, yeah, I do,
Yeah.
but also I don't, because I know I've got so much more to give to people in the world than just being where I'm at.
Yeah, that's it. And I think we as beings, like, we're so I guess now in our day and age, we're so accustomed to wanting everything quite quickly and not actually realizing we're exactly where we need to be. And that's okay. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, it does take that extra little bit to like pause yourself in a moment of control and just be like, okay, cool. Like what I need and what is for me will be there. And just to release, like I'm a grade A control freak at the best of the times, you know, like I was an event manager for 7 years, like it was pretty much my job. But having to release control has been what probably actually up there with the challenging things along this journey, because there's nothing that you can control that is greater than what's already for you.
Mm,
So
and there's always a higher purpose in yourself. And if you're
yeah.
going through life at the moment and you're thinking that that is not true, I think it's
Mm,
depending on where you're navigating, uh,
100%.
where you're going, who you're surrounding yourself with, what you're doing in your life, because we can do all these things that make us feel good and make us feel happy. Yet
Yeah.
when you can come back to yourself and what you truly desire, well, then is it really serving you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think acknowledging that it is going to be okay no matter what. I think for me personally, you know, given we're sharing my journey in parts, you know, I've had a really big history with like depression and, you know, mental health. And there was so many points in my life personally where I never thought that there was going to be a today. And when I look back at that version of myself, where it was very much that high pressure, you know, I call it like a pressure point or a pressure pot, you know. And when you are in those states of like wanting to control the outcome and not wanting to feel like what's going on in the current, um, it can be quite overwhelming. And then almost now, where I'm in this state and I've done the work and I've kind of sat with a lot of the hard moments in life, I can look back at that person and just be like I understand, but it is okay and it will get better if you just kind of surrender and just trust in the ability that life will show you it will be okay. And I know I say that, and if someone said that to me back then while I was in that pressure point, I would have been like, get out of my face.
So, like, what are you talking about? Like, well,
Yeah.
this absurd meaning of what you, because I know I was like,
Surrender. What is that?
what is surrender? What is trust? It's like, okay, well, I don't know what that is. I guess I have to find out. And you don't know
Yeah.
until you actually discover that, like until you actually go through those
Yeah.
experiences. Like
Yeah.
I've never been like, I've been, there's many times where I've struggled and like I've been like depressed in a way, but it's not to the point where uh, I've like not sure whether I'll live the next day. I think I've always lived in the aspect of like I knew like there was something more for me even before I
Yeah.
started now. Like I know that
Yeah.
from my experience, like I knew there's something else for me than just doing what I'm doing. And I know
Exactly.
I've had a couple people on here saying about like depression and mental health because it's so important. Yet also
Mm,
there's an aspect where it can be sometimes termed as a label. Like if
yeah.
you put yourself as it, and it's really discerning the fact whether it's a label or not. And if you say you've got
Mm,
depression, well then it's obviously it's a label you're putting on yourself. When in reality it's
mm,
just the other perception of how you feel about yourself. So
that's it. Yeah.
how did you I guess not overcome it, but how did you sort of allow yourself to get through those stages when you were actually depressed and were not knowing whether you had another day?
I think um I think for me was like my biggest realization, and I can confidently say now, was acknowledging that there wasn't really a maybe an open space for me to talk through a lot of my emotions at a younger age, and that was at no fault of anyone. I think it was just how I felt at the time, and again, how you're talking about perception. Um, and so as I grew up, that just became a common thing of like, again, this pressure pot, right? So like every emotion I was feeling where I thought that I couldn't really discuss it with people just started piling into this hot pot, and then it would explode. And then it was this chaotic, like, I can't do this anymore.
Mm.
Um, and I think as I got older, it was acknowledging that, okay, like rather than letting it get to this pressure point or pressure pot moment, it was acknowledging the bad moments, or like the hard moments, not bad, But the harder moments or the harder days where it was that little bit more of a struggle, it was acknowledging it in the moment rather than suppressing it or suppressing something that really upset me. It was almost like picking it apart at that time and going, okay, why is this hurting me so much? What does this mean to me? What do I need right now? And like really honoring myself in that moment, even if it was hard. And I know I'm confidently saying this now. I know when you're going through it, it's a bit harder to dissect something because you are in such a heightened state. But even if you come up with some kind of like safe word or something that just kind of snaps you back into the moment and just going, okay, like what if I just count to 5 and then we can assess it from there, like it was creating those little like cues for me to be able to assess what I'm going through, process it, and not judge or shame myself for feeling that way. I think that comes with a lot of mental health. It's like you immediately put yourself into this box of like, oh, I'm not okay. And it's like, you are perfectly okay. You're just having a bad moment, a bad day, a bad year, and that's okay. And it will get better. So I think having that mindset really helped me. And now, like, I've just gone personally through something that is quite traumatic, but being able to sit in it and acknowledge it and dissect it and pull it apart, I'm actually proud of the way that I have been able to process it. Whereas Laurie from a teenager didn't really have a lot of those tools, and again would have just totally overboiled because it would have been a lot to take in, and that's like such a natural thing for most people these days. And so that's why I think I have so much admiration and passion for the work that we do, because it allows people to understand their emotions to a deeper level, and giving people tools to just tap into that.
Yeah, and I'm so proud of you for going through it, and it's
Thank
definitely
you.
definitely yeah, it's I'm honoring you for that.
Thank you so much. I feel
And
that.
and it's funny because depression is like I don't know the meaning, but I know with emotions, like we don't get taught this stuff when we're younger. Like we don't know how to deal
Mm-hmm.
with it. The depression is just basically depressing your emotions to a point where you don't know how to express it. And that's why it's
Yeah,
depression. So when you can learn different tools and be able to understand and learn more about emotions and how you're feeling, what that means you can actually know how to express it in certain ways. Because um, the ultimate form of actually depressing emotions is taking different drugs, medication, all the other stuff. That's because you don't know any other way to express.
that's it. Yeah. I think like at the end of the day, depression is suppression, you know.
Depression is, yeah,
It's just with a few extra words in there, it's just a form of suppression, and look, obviously it's a much bigger topic than just that. But yeah, it's about trying to utilize the tools where you can. Yeah.
yeah, being able to, firstly, the first tip is knowing like the awareness piece, right? And the second,
Mm-hmm.
actually work out what you need to know in order to go through whatever you're going through.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm. It's a big one, and I'm glad that I'm on this path because now I know how to
Did you cut out again?
a little bit. Yeah, I'll have to just go with that. Anyways, we're talking about depression. Okay, cool. Yeah. Mm. Is there any? Can you hear me? Mm. Hello. We're
Did we
back.
just lose all that? Or do you still get it?
We got it. We back. We back as a technical error, people. That's technology for you.
Did you get that recording though that we just had?
Still recording. I don't know. I'll figure it out afterwards.
Oh,
Just
thank God.
just trust and surrender that it's okay, that it's gonna be
Rest and surrender.
fine. People worry, it's like we worry about so many different things that are out of our control, like for example, technology or our external environment. So
Yeah.
the
And
beauty.
maybe that chat was just for us. Maybe that wasn't meant to go to air if we lost that recording. But it was a great chat, people. And
Beautiful chat, whatever it cut to, and if you don't know, you know, just know where to find us.
come
It's
ask us.
trust and surrender that it's all going to be okay. And that's one big piece that a lot of the work that you and I do, whether it's through transformation, whether it's through Reiki or healing, is just being able to trust yourself to go through those
Yeah,
deep, dark places.
yeah,
We went on a bit
exactly.
of a definitely a side tangent there for some reason or another.
It was
Um,
great. I loved it.
and you've learned Reiki.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know my flatmate, she does human design and Reiki.
Oh,
And for those
cool.
that may be curious to know, in a sentence, describe Reiki.
Oof. Carl, I'm not good with just sentences. Okay. Like the last person you should have on a 30-minute podcast. Um, okay, how do I word this so I give it the most grace? I feel like Reiki is the perfect combination between soul and science. It basically taps into your energetic realm in ways that I don't feel like we get access to between two people.
Mhm.
Um, so essentially, Reiki is a deeper level of energetic access and energetic healing of one's alignment and one's energetic field. This is definitely more than a sentence. Um, but yeah, essentially it is that access, it's that permission to somebody's energetic realm, and then the shift and transformation that can take place between two people, but basically for the person that has given the permission for the Reiki practitioner to enter. It is just basically about realigning and creating a little bit more of a soul balance.
Yes, great summing up of a sentence. I've loved it.
Yeah, that was hard.
It was a long paragraph with a couple of other sentences in between. So
I can't. I'm a passionate person. There's a
I
lot
know
of work.
I'm very much just like, okay, sum up your expertise in one sentence. It's fine. And
It's never.
it's a very powerful modality. Like I've
Yeah.
experienced it firsthand from my flatmate, and it's just like I've done a couple of Reiki sessions. One was in my flatmate, the other one was another person, and it was just quite profound, like how she could tell like where my chakras were out of balance. Um,
Mm.
and the power in energetics. I've realized the power I have in energetics with just
Yeah.
learning about, and it does scare me a little bit. Yet
Yep.
I'm like, oh shit. Like
Yeah.
that's one thing that we are so afraid of is the power we have within us that can create massive transformation and impact in other people's worlds.
Yeah. Because what we do kind of rocks the boat a little bit systematically. So I feel like once you feel how incredible you are, and how much of a gift you are to this space, it does kind of go, oh, okay, what do I do with this big responsibility in a way?
Whether it's energy healing, whether it's whatever your modality, once you've uncovered it, once you've uncovered your passion, your purpose, once you start removing all the different layers of yourself, and what I mean by layers is like removing all the splinters that you may be holding you back from achieving long-term goals.
Yeah.
Um, the power in that is very, very, very it's just yeah, it's scary, but also very loving and embracing and knowing like yeah, you can create that for yourself, and that's when you come
Yeah.
back to yourself. And I know my power is not so much just in the presence I can create for people in
Yeah.
how they're seeing things and what they're doing, and it's very
Yeah.
profound.
I think your energy, if I can speak on it in itself, is quite powerful. Like just by being present with people, I think that's a gift in itself. And I think when you can show up in a space and provide that to people, it's such a beautiful experience.
Yeah, I uncovered a new layer of that this past weekend, and I was just like, oh wow, this is quite potent what I can create, and just realizing that in any room I step into.
Yeah,
But it's funny
exactly.
because you don't see it until some people bring it to your attention, and sometimes you have to go through the transmission pieces from them in order to see it.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. Once you see it, you're like, F yeah,
you're like,
amazing.
yeah, that's cool. But it's like, oh, very juicy and gooey, but it's like, maybe I'll just you can either you can either take a step back or you can take a step forward. And I know
Mm.
people, especially my family, that have seen their power, but they just don't know how to use it properly. Unless
Yeah,
you don't know how to use it unless you actually practice it.
exactly. You tap
Yeah.
into it.
Yes, that's the power. And I do want to. I know that with energy healing, with any sort of modality that we learn, any tools that we learn, there's an emphasis on facilitating the correct way, which is something I'm learning myself to do, and something I'm actually learning about the emotions, like the core emotions from my mentor. If you could provide yourself with one piece of advice of your younger self,
Hmm.
that be?
I think the biggest thing is to just trust yourself, trust in your intuition, trust in your knowing.
Mhm.
There's always going to be doubts, and that's okay. It's okay to feel a little bit scared and uncomfortable, but remember to come home to yourself and trust in yourself because that's the person you get to stand by for the rest of your life.
Mm, felt that, yeah. Trusting self is very important. And I think that if you're going through a position right now in your life, whether that's a struggle, whether that's a challenge, whether that's an opportunity, just trust your heart. Like just take a couple of deep breaths in through your mouth, and then just trust whatever that feeling is you're feeling. If you get like a sensation in your heart, then you know you're doing the right thing. Because I know there's been
Yeah,
times in my life where I've just done it all in here and not felt it in here. I've
exactly
done it
right.
because someone else has told me to do it, and it's really learned the lesson in it, or it's
Yeah,
really having opportunities in it. So it's just trust. That's massive. That's a massive piece.
that's it. Yeah. Yeah. I think we spend so much of our time, especially when we begin to lose that trust within ourselves. We spend a lot of our time offering up who we are to a lot of people for validation or for recognition or for acceptance. So when you come back to that trust, I feel like it is that strengthening of a relationship that is the most important before anything else.
Mm. And where can people find Miss Laurie?
So at the moment, I just am on Instagram. So it is Loridana Marie at Loridana Marie, and that is spelled LORIDANAMAREE. Almost forgot my name then. Um, I keep it pretty casual on my page, but yeah, there's a link there to all my offerings at the moment. But otherwise, if you just want to have a friendly chat based on what we've spoken about today, my inbox is always open.
Cool. Awesome. It's funny how you went through like your spelling of your name. I don't know whether you've watched that Michael McIntyre comedy part where he goes through names and stuff.
Uh,
I'll send it to you after. It just
please.
it changed my perception on how I spell my name and everything. It's quite hilarious.
I just feel like I've got such a different name that people are like, wait, what did she just say?
Yeah.
Was that L A L what? I get all types. So, find it better to just spell it out.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when we first met, I was like, oh, okay, your name is this. I'll just call you this.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I feel like Laurie's just the go-to for a lot of people, and that's fine.
Cool,
I'll
awesome.
go.
Well, thank you for coming on. I do appreciate it. And remember, those listening, like, share, subscribe. Key takeaways always are important. And appreciate you. And we'll speak again very soon.
Thank you. Have a good night. Bye, everyone.
Bye.